SoundCloud. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Bar, where I am your host, Devon Grogans, here with co-host the Tommy John with Tommy John Coaching. And this is the podcast where we go beyond the stage, beyond the X's and O's, and we talk about bodybuilding in lifestyles. We do cover some of the topics within bodybuilding, but the bulk of it is outside. Um, it's been a couple of weeks. How's everything been, Tommy?
Everything's good. Everything's good over here. We're just prepping along.
You're 3 weeks out now, right?
Yeah, 3 weeks out. We just got back from the Olympia.
Tell me about that. I wanted so badly to go, but it was tough because I was supposed to go with a couple of friends. They couldn't go, and I couldn't justify spending the money uh,
Yeah.
for just myself. It was like I know I could write it off as a business thing, but I was like, five's a little because I think the lowest ticket I could find was like 450. When I went in Orlando, back in 21 or 22, it was like
Mhm.
250 bucks. Like I was like, I'll spend that all day.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But you were there with Chase, right?
Yeah, so we had our Omega Amino booth.
Hmm.
So we had a booth there, and then it was me, Chase, my client and friend David, and his wife, another client of mine. And then Chris Massaro is one of our sponsored athletes. So him and his wife were there,
Nice.
helping us work the booth. And then our friend Dan actually got us VIP tickets.
Oh,
Um, yeah, so we were sitting right behind the head judges. It was wild. It was wild. Yeah, crazy experience because like that was my first time, going to the Olympia in general.
electrifying, isn't it? Like it is.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then to be able to experience it like that was just super cool. I'm super grateful for it. It was a great weekend. We got there Wednesday and we were there all the way through Sunday. So yeah, tons of fun, dude. Tons of fun.
Well, I want to
Um,
get into your prep, but before we do, still while Olympia is semi-fresh, what were your thoughts on where everything fell, especially with you being right there up close in the 212? I'll be honest, when I saw Keon post the picture of him in the doorway the day before, I for sure thought it was lights out. And then when I saw the photos of him and Sean up there, I was like, he might not get this, but what did you see being there in person?
so here's the thing, and man, I always knew that what you see in person is different.
Hmm.
I didn't know to what extent it is different,
Yeah.
right? So now, as I reflect back and I look at the Instagram photos that I'm seeing that are being put out there, people can find the photos to match whatever they're trying
Their
to,
narrative.
their narrative, right? And now I'll find a photo of Keon, for example, and he doesn't look that great. And I'm like, oh no, he was lights out. He was lights out. And then I'll find a photo of Sean where, you know, he looks like the obvious winner.
Hmm.
And in person, Keon was the obvious winner.
Yeah.
But Sean was so, so incredibly good.
Yeah.
And
John did an amazing job taking
yeah,
over that prep and landing the plane, so to speak.
it was wild. And Sean's arguably my favorite bodybuilder of all time. Um, so to see him in person in his best shape ever, his best look ever.
And he's what, 43, 40, like
Yeah, he's
still
somewhere.
getting
Yeah.
better? That's crazy.
He It was insane. It was an insane look. So there was a lot of stuff I saw online like, yeah, Sean was the obvious winner. He should have won. And then you find out these people weren't there. They
Yeah.
weren't at the show. And it's like, no, everyone sitting around me, um, we all were in awe,
Hmm.
of the way Sean looked. But Keon came out and it's like, no, he's winning.
Yeah.
He's still winning. He's not beatable.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
not
that's how I
beatable.
feel it was like with Men's Physique. Ryan Terry, he came out, he was lights out. And
Yeah,
then there were some photos of him at finals, and he looked a little softer. And I don't know if it was lighting or what it was, but there were a couple
yeah,
of people that were like, no, he absolutely looked just as good, if not better, at finals that he did. And I mean, he had a perfect score. So it's like you can't argue the fact. And that's why it's always funny that people will say don't take photos of face value when it comes to the stage.
yeah,
But then, we tend to do the opposite when it comes to training. Like you'll get the best lighting and the best spot, and they're like, "Whoa, that dude shredded." It's like
yeah,
he's just in the perfect lighting for his body.
yeah,
So we'll
yeah,
we'll take posing or training photos and think that that's the end all be all. But then when it translates to the stage, it's like, oh no, we can't do that.
yeah. And Ryan Terry's another good example. No one was beating him.
No,
They weren't even. It wasn't even close. It was like now where it gets different for me is the open class.
I was just going to say, let's talk about that. And especially when it comes to photos, because I think to your original point where you were saying that people will find the photos to fit their narrative, I wasn't there in person. I personally didn't have Derek winning, but when you talk about what it is that they're looking for, and people are like, "Oh, his biceps aren't as good as Hottie's, and his legs aren't as good," and I get you could nitpick and go tit for tat with five different bodybuilders on five different body parts, but at the end of the day, it's who brought the best overall package.
The overall package, right? Who did you have winning the open?
After seeing it, I
Mm,
I thought Andrew might have snuck away with it or Hottie. I had Andrew, Hottie, Derek in my like once I saw it in my top three. I originally was forecasting Nick to be in there. He clearly
yeah.
shit the bed and even said he did.
Yeah.
Um, but after seeing Andrew, I thought Andrew might have been able to walk away with it. And holy cow, is that guy aesthetic?
Yeah, so I wasn't far off from where you had it. Hadi, in my opinion, was the clear winner.
Yeah.
Should have been the clear winner. I could have argued Derek and Andrew switching places and maybe Andrew taking second. Few things about Andrew um, that he did that the judges did not like, right?
Mhm.
So it wasn't even about his physique. He was walking around the stage during comparison
That's
round,
what I heard.
and like he was basically treating it like a joke. Not a joke. He was just having fun, but it's like you're a professional, bro.
Mhm.
Like you better stop it. Um, so did that affect his placing? I don't know. What's the difference? It wasn't the difference between third and first, but I mean, he arguably could have took second if he
Yeah.
wasn't messing around. But in my opinion, Hottie was the who I would have had winning, just based off what I saw in person.
Yeah.
Um, and it's hard for me to decide if that's just because I don't like Derek. I'm just being honest. It's hard for me to say, do I just not like this guy for some reason, and do I just like Hottie for some reason? I
Right.
think I'm pretty good about putting that aside.
Mhm.
Um, but that's what I was wondering after I left the show. I'm like, maybe I just like Hottie. Like maybe I just like him as a
Right.
person, and like so that was on my mind over, the weekend and the days following. Like, okay. Yeah, I wasn't I don't know. I'm okay with Derek winning, right? I was okay with it. I'm like, okay, he looked good enough to win, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I
But
think anybody in that top three, arguably, same.
well, that's the thing, top three, in my opinion, is all that matters.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, well, Samson shouldn't have been fourth. And I'm like, well, was he going to be in the top three? Well, no, he should have been like six. Well, who cares?
Yeah.
He
I will
wasn't.
say though, I will say I would have loved to have seen Martin get put into a call out with the top three or four guy. I think that would have shaken some things up because funny
Bro.
enough, he was my dark horse coming in when they were like, who's, not they, but just a couple of different places that were asking, like who do you have as an underdog that'll, sneak some placings or whatever. And I was like, I think Martin Fitzwater's getting slept on. I think I
Here's
wish he would have got a better look with some of those top guys.
here's the thing that I could have seen happening if they would have brought those guys back and compared them to top 3, 4 in the finals. I
Mhm.
think Nick, I think Nick could have even pushed Samson out. Even in his shit condition, he came back very good at finals.
Yeah, they fixed whatever issue they had prior to. And I think if I remember right, he was just talking about this on Fuad's podcast. His current coach had never peaked a 2-day show before. So they had peaked him for the prejudging the day before, but then
Yeah,
timing was off, he was saying, for the night show.
yeah, I heard rumors that, he tried loading him with just like a bunch of burgers and stuff. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to actually speak with Nick.
Mhm.
I would have to ask Chase because I think Chase actually spoke with Nick and Kyle. But I don't know exactly what happened. But yeah, Kyle definitely said, like, hey, I've never prepped anyone for the Olympia before. He was very open and honest about
Yeah.
it. And Nick seemed to be receptive and supportive of his coach. Like,
Yeah,
we'll,
and he didn't bus roll anybody. He just said this was new for both of us. This is the plan we came in thinking it was going to work, and it just didn't hit the mark.
here's what I love. He came in looking like shit. I'm being honest.
Hmm.
He walked from the back and I just went, "Oh, like it was that bad."
Hmm.
He still took top 6.
Oh yeah,
Like, come on. Guys, everyone's hating on him like he's done. He's done. I'm like, dude, he still took top 6 in literally his worst possible form.
yeah,
That says a lot. That
because
says a
he was
lot.
definitely worse than Pittsburgh. He was worse than Pittsburgh.
Dude, so much worse.
Yeah,
If he came in 30% better, he would have been top 3.
yeah, and that's the
That's
funny thing is like people forget he arguably would have beaten Derek or could have beaten Derek and just missed. And yes, I get it's how you peak, but realistically, those guys, the top 10, I'll say the top 8, most likely, probably the top 8, could really go any which way depending on who absolutely nails their peak and who is just incrementally off.
yeah. Yeah, Nick was off. Like bad. Yeah,
Mhm.
the prejudging was literally I felt embarrassed for him. And I felt really bad because you could see it all over his face. He knew. It was literally like, those dreams where you go to school naked. You know what I mean? It's like that's what he looked like. And
Yeah,
I felt so bad because I could see it all over his face. He's just like, I don't want to be standing in front of all these people right now.
yeah.
And he couldn't pull in his gut. He was trying. You could see him
Mhm.
actively, like after a big skip load and
Yep.
you go stand in the mirror and you're like,
Had a vacuum and you're just like, oh,
dude, yeah, that's what he looked like. Those days where you push the skip loading a little too hard and you're trying to lie down at night and you're like, I shouldn't have had that last treat, right?
I'm at
That
right now. I mean, it's clean foods, but like today's
doesn't matter.
that, yeah, 750, which is arguably harder because I'm trying to put like almost 750 grams of carbs down across 3 to 4 meals, and it's not easy. But,
No,
but
no.
yeah, that is a tough feeling to try and pull that in. I'm curious who you guys watching. Let us know who A, your dark horse was, and B, if you don't think Derek should have won, who should have took the top spot.
Yeah,
Uh,
guys, leave your comments on that because I'm curious too. And then also, please mention if you were actually at the show or not,
yes.
because that's going to change things.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, the last thing I'll leave it at is, um, I saw pictures of guys like Brett Wilkin, for example.
Hmm.
I saw some pictures of him where he looked like nails, like dead on, looked amazing. Devon, he placed exactly where he should have. And that's no shot at
Yeah.
him, like, or it is, but I don't mean for it to be. He placed exactly where he should have. He did not, no one overlooked him.
Yep.
They saw him come out and they slid him to last place as soon as he walked out. And you know, it's still the Olympia. He's
Yeah.
still with the best in the
Top
world.
20
So
in the world. Yeah.
I'm not shitting on him as much as it sounds like I am, but um, you know, I had people telling me like Brett should have been eighth, and I'm like, bro, I'm like maybe at an NPC national show,
Yeah.
like
No,
no, dude, he looked like a boy amongst men at that show. At that show, it was yeah, he placed where he should have. And that's where I'm seeing these photos. Like I saw some pictures of Good Vito. Everyone like, man, I don't think they gave him a look. I'm like, no, they did. He
that's
placed
what,
where
and that's the funny, that's what people don't realize. Like, I've been in this game for a long time. Like, it's so weird for me to be able to say that, but I've literally been doing this for so long that very
yeah,
seldom do you get a bad shake. The judges know what they're doing, and they know there's so many people that come across the stage in such a short period of time. They have a specific criteria they're looking for off the bat. And typically what they'll do is they'll put checks next to people as they come out on automatically where they're thinking they're going. Like,
it's instant.
yes,
It's instant. As soon as you walk out, it's instant. So imagine you and I go to shop for cars and they line up 12 cars. You and I can pick our top four cars
yeah,
within what, 3 minutes?
yeah,
Yep. Yeah, I like the Shelby. You know, I like that M3. I like that Corvette. Boom. You know, and then as you start to look at them, it's like, I don't know, dude, like that Camaro's kind of cool, but like that Shelby is way better. And it's like
yeah.
you can start to then like zoom out and start to look at the other options, but it's like you put me in front of 12 cars, I'm picking my top four
Yeah.
within minutes,
Yeah.
literally within minutes. And then as I zoom out, I can place the other ones as needed. But yeah, my top four cars, for example, a subjective thing, I'm picking them right then and there, dude. You
And
know?
that's arguably why Martin didn't get a look is, you got your top five picked out. Cool. These are the five that we're running with. When all the other judges are in agreement and you're shuffling, this judge had somebody in their first pick, whereas this person had them in their second pick. Cool. Well, relatively, they all have them within the top 1 to 5 places. So they just put all those guys. These are who we're now comparing because it's almost unanimous. These are who we all feel, regardless of the placing right now, should be within the top five. Cool.
Yeah,
So then we'll slide these guys over here and worry about them next. But let's take a look at who we've all agreed that these are the five we want to look at. So, yeah, I mean, we could beat a dead horse on that, but
right,
they know
right.
what they're doing. And well, I will say this because it does come down to the NPC level. And I actually made a post on this the other day. It's not red tape. You didn't get overlooked. The fact of the matter was you didn't come in dry enough. You weren't hard enough. You weren't conditioned enough, or you just didn't fill out, or you missed your mark. Like that's really what it comes down to.
The NPC's even tighter. They will pick their top three in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They will pick it in the front relaxed pose in bodybuilding or the front pose in men's physique.
Hmm.
They are picking their top three within 30 seconds, guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed. I can do it at a local show.
Yeah. And
You
especially,
put 10 guys or girls in front of me, those three, boom, put them in
yeah.
the center.
Yep. And
It's
especially
easy.
now
It's easy.
that, like with men's physique, it used to be they would just walk us all out and line them up in the NPC. That would take a little bit longer. Now, though it's seemingly longer, you come out, you get a front, back, and then a front pose and walk off stage. They're literally picking at that point who's in their first call outs and
Yeah.
arguably who's for, like you said, top three at that point. Then as you stand next to people, yeah, they might move you around a little bit, but they have a pretty good indication at these local levels where they're going. So I can promise you that 99% of the time you didn't get overlooked. The
No.
judges don't hate you. The judges aren't going with this person because they know them. You
Yeah.
weren't good enough. That's
Oh,
really
that's his brother-in-law. It's like, No, dude.
What,
No, it's
what do
not.
they have to benefit from? Like, what real, if you think about it, what does an NPC judge benefit from by
Nothing.
giving anybody a first place trophy? Cool, I know that guy. I'm going to give him first place. Then that guy
Yeah.
goes to nationals, spends
And
thousands of
gets
dollars, gets
smoked.
absolutely smoked. And it's like,
Yeah.
what does that benefit? Why wouldn't, if you were that good, they'd give it to you so you could go get your card or you could continue on. Like,
Yeah. See, at a pro level, we could argue that maybe there is a benefit under the table with some money and shit. We don't know, but I highly doubt it. You know
yeah,
what I mean? All those head judges, they make plenty of money. They're
they
fine.
and
Yeah.
arguably the same, if not more. Like you take away sponsorship deals, and the
Yeah.
judges are probably making the same as the athletes, if not more.
Yeah, if not
Like
more,
I can pro like
exactly.
what was it? The Hurricane Pro just happened yesterday
Oh
for
yeah.
um and Ben Quill, who was I think ninth, and then Andrew Colin. They took first and second there. $2,000 and $1,000. I promise you, nobody's getting handed money under the table for judging. Like
No, no,
that hardly
no.
covers their airfare. So I
It
promise they're not
it
breaking
it
off anybody to get a placing.
yeah, it covered two kits of growth hormone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, no. Yeah, that's funny though. But yeah, that's my overall outlook on the Olympia is, and I guess my advice to the viewers and the listeners is take what you see on the internet with a grain of salt.
Yep.
And I think most people are I think most people are pretty understanding of that already. You know, it's 2025. Come on. We know that. You can find any guy in the gym who in person doesn't look much of anything. And then you see him online and he has 30,000 followers and he looks jacked. And it's like, I don't know. I've seen that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like a high schooler in
It's
person.
funny because I feel like I'm the opposite. I feel like some people are more photogenic where you
You
see
are the
photos,
opposite.
yeah. You see somebody in photos, you're like, oh shit, that dude looks big. And then you see him and you're like, oh, that's not quite what I thought. I am the people see me in photos, all right, he's got a decent physique, and then never fail. Like I have heard it more often than not, dude, you don't look anything like your pictures. And I'm
You
like,
know
is that a
who's
bad thing? And they're like, no, you look way different in person than you do in your pictures.
Chase is like that.
I could see that.
Because people will be like, Chase isn't that big. And I'm like, no, he's pretty big, dude.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Yeah, like, you know, even when I initially first met him years ago now, I remember saying to myself, like, oh, you're bigger than I thought. You know, like it went through my head. And I knew he was a big guy, but like when I saw him in person, I'm like, oh, you're different. You know, and like people don't know. They just assume that th- whatever they see him in this window right here that we're on right now, right? And they're like, you know, Chase talks about all this stuff and like he's not that big. And I'm like, oh no, he's pretty big. And I've met a lot of really, really big people, and he's one of them. You know, so like yeah, it's always weird how that works. I had a client that I met, and this is a dude I see pictures of every single week. Two clients actually, and then and then there was a third that I trained with, my friend David. David is like, you know, around 180 pounds. And in
Hmm.
person, I'm watching this dude train. I'm like, this cat's kind of big, dude. Like he's pretty jacked, you know? And I'm like watching him train, like, no shit. And then a client came up to me at the booth and like just unexpectedly, like just thick, like 3D.
Hmm.
Like his back was just his name's Ray, a different Ray than the one you're familiar with.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and I'm just like, man, this guy's thick, dude. Like I had and now when I look at his pictures, I'm like, okay, I see it from a different lens, and it's kind of
Mhm.
cool, you know. And then lastly, I'll leave you with this before I drag it on, but
No, you're
um
good.
another client, my client, newer client, Christopher, like, yeah, he's peeled, you know, in his pictures and stuff. I saw him in person. I'm like, oh, like you're really peeled.
Isn't
Like,
that? I
yeah,
love that because I've had a
yeah,
few clients where I'm getting them ready for a show and it's either just shit lighting at their house or their camera
yeah,
sucks. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm thinking, I don't know if we're going to be there. And I remember one guy specifically, we get to the show, I'm like, all right, let's go into the bathroom and take a look. And in my head, I'm thinking like, all right, we're gonna have to just throw up a Hail Mary. Cat rips his shirt off, and I'm like, oh, like you
Yeah.
that doesn't look like a single picture you sent me. Okay, we're actually really good right now.
Maybe I left you hungry for a little too long. But that's a good problem to have.
Yes.
And as a coach, and Justin Harris has talked about this before, like he'll go to people's shows in person and he's like, please send me cell phone pictures and let me go look at you in the room over here. And then
Hmm.
I'll come see you in person. He's like, but I need to look at you through text message photos because that's how we've been doing the entire prep.
Yep.
And like, I think I would be the same way. I'd be like, yeah, I'm here with you. I'm going to a guy's show in December. I might do it with him. We'll see because he's not going to be in the same class as me.
Do
So,
it.
so I'm like, that'd be cool, right?
Same
Um,
price to be a coach as it is to be on stage.
yeah. So in like my main show's in November, right? So that's my focal point. So then like I'll just stay in shape and just go have fun at the show with him, right? I don't care of placing or whatever.
Hmm.
So yeah, but either way, I think what I'm gonna do is either take pictures on my phone and look at them or have him still send me photos. I don't know, but um, yeah, I think it's important to see those. Like AJ has me send photos, different lighting, post
Hmm.
workout, in the morning,
Yep.
flat and dry, everything like that. Sometimes PM.
It's all
Um,
data.
yeah, exactly. So,
Speaking of, that's actually
yep,
a really good time to segue
good
into
one.
your contest prep, which you're 3 weeks out. Let's talk a little bit about that because I know the other day you sent me some photos looking solid, and you were saying that it was surprisingly easier prep than others.
Yeah, dude, like I don't there's so many variables like on why that is. Um
Let's
one
narrow it
is
down to a couple, just and you don't have to go into specifics, but whether it be, introducing, peptides as a whole, we don't have to dive into what that looks like, but just,
yeah.
what would you say are some of the variables you feel made this prep a little bit easier? And when you say easier, what about it would you say was the easier portions of it?
So I'll start with my top two factors that I think are potentially the largest, and that would be AJ and Danny
Okay.
and the combination of them.
Hmm.
Um one not being more important than the other,
Sure.
nothing like that. But just AJ as a whole, um, him
And
guiding
just to preface really quick, didn't mean to cut you off. AJ is handling your nutrition, Danny is
yes.
handling your training, correct?
Yep, yeah.
Okay.
And AJ did my training for all of off season and it was
Sure.
all great and everything like that. But there were specific PT issues that I was having, and that's not in AJ's wheelhouse. Even if it is, he just doesn't have time. I don't pay him for that,
Yeah.
right? It would be like, hey, you know, my electrician knows a lot about my plumbing system, but he doesn't have time to mess with it. So
Mhm.
he's got a, plumber that he trusts and he's going to send him over. That's my, analogy there. So AJ and Danny are number one for what has changed this prep completely, right? The way AJ keeps me moving in the right direction without killing me.
Yeah.
Just, there's something to it. We kind of push hard and then pull back a little and push hard and pull back a little. Like, dude, we've done like next to no cardio, and like that's one example. So yeah, though that's my first big ticket item is those two. I'm incredibly grateful for them.
And I
Um,
think there's something about that last point that you made where you were saying you push hard, then you pull back a little bit. Because I found myself doing that. And then also utilizing that with my clients more, where
yeah,
we'll take, maybe it might not be a full deload, but we'll more deload-esque style of training every few weeks rather
yeah,
than, every 8 to 10 weeks. And it's just, I think it just speaks volumes to having that freshness because we do, as bodybuilders, want to just go, go, go and harder, harder, harder. And it's almost like, okay, if I'm feeling drained, that just means I need to push even harder. And it's like, no, sometimes you need to pull back to take that step backwards to take two steps forward. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that's really important. But I love that you said that.
And that's the other cool thing about it now having Danny is um one, she knows that. She
Mm.
knows what AJ's doing, and things like that. But now she can do it on the training side of things.
Yep.
Like, hey, I know the joints are starting to get dry. Let's pull back this, and this.
Hmm.
Um, and then, man, like she's completely changed my outlook on training,
Yeah.
and she will pull back on the reins when I would normally push through.
Hmm.
And I was the one burying myself before in
Oh, yeah.
previous preps because I didn't have Danny to watch every training. She watches every single one of my training sessions. I send her every single exercise I do. And she can see if my entire body is convulsing when I'm doing a hack squat. She's like, bro, what are you doing? Like your eyes, she's this verbatim. She says your eyes don't have to bleed after every set.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, man, I just don't know another way. So,
Right. And it's so hard to mitigate that fatigue because they're with the I talked about it a few weeks ago, the Y3T training that I'm kind of going through right now. I'm in
yeah,
like,
it's cyclic.
yeah, I'm in this, I'm in the third or fourth week of the cycle, but it's when just this last week was back to week one. And so it's higher weight, lower volume, 6 to 8 rep range. And it never fails. I'll leave the gym and I'm like, man, I feel like I could have done so much more.
It's so,
And then the
yeah,
next
yeah.
day, I'm like, no, no, I feel that. And had I done more, I probably wouldn't even be able to fully train today.
Yeah, there's some leg sessions where, I'll message her in the comments of the videos that I leave with her in our app that she uses. And I'm like, I don't know. I felt like I was kind of being a wuss. She's like, bro, this is a hard, good quality set. Like, you're good. And I'm like, man, like, is that all it takes?
Right?
Like, I wasted a lot of time burying myself.
Like Lee Haney used to say, stimulate, don't annihilate.
Yeah, yeah, and the answer's in the middle because
Yeah.
sometimes she's like, "Hey, you're thinking about this movement a little too much. Just like get after it." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So she'll give me the green light on certain things like, "Hey, orthopedically everything looks good." She's like, "Just bang this shit." And I'm like, "Cool." So there's certain movements where she'll green light them and be like, dude, just go slang and bang that shit.
Hmm.
Everything's intact. The body's moving the way it should. Just bang it. Great. And then there's other movements where she's like, hey, let's clean this up. This should be something that's a little more pretty. And she is doing the same thing as AJ with this push and pull, right?
Hmm.
This is the time to push on this specific movement. Your body is designed perfectly for it. Bang it, right? Take
Yep.
it to hell. AJ will see that, hey, this week you're good, everything's good. We're just gonna dig deep, right? So, long story short, that yin and yang of push hard, pull back,
Yep.
they're both doing it. One's doing it for, nutrition and cardio, and the other is doing it for my training. Man, that is one of the biggest ingredients to this whole prep for me. Next would be life stress and just being significantly lower.
Hmm.
And um the way I'm approaching just life in general, right? Um I'm finding ways to get less worked up about stuff and um like I've literally said to myself before, like during this prep, this is not going to be the reason you don't take first place,
Yep.
right? If I, you know, if my salt is 1.45 instead of 1.4 grams,
Hmm.
okay, dude, calm down, right? Or you drop a piece of turkey on the ground, it's like, it's okay, dude. Like, just finish your meal, like, before I would have been like, no, no, it's not okay. It's not okay. And it's like, no, it's okay. Like, I'm just, and I learned this from my client, Dave, Diesel Dave. You've seen him on my Instagram.
Yeah,
Uh,
we were just talking a couple days ago, actually.
he is just so chill about everything, Devon. And I'm learning a lot from him and just about being more grateful, appreciative. And that's something AJ is constantly instilling in
Oh
people.
yeah,
He always says before your feet even hit the ground when you're getting out of bed, just take 2 seconds and just be grateful first that you just woke up, right?
yep.
Just be
Because there's a lot of
grateful
people
that
that
you
didn't.
woke. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm implementing um the mental side of things where it's just like, man, I'm really lucky to be
And
able to
I
do this.
and I will say there's something to be said. I mean, you know, just as well as anybody from a coaching perspective, we can fix a lot of things. We cannot fix somebody that has cortisol through the roof.
Yeah.
If you're cortisol or you are in a constant state of stress, everything gets thrown out of whack, and the only person that can fix it is the person dealing with it. We can adjust for carbs, we can adjust for water, we can adjust for a lot of different things, but when cortisol spikes and stays up there, your body will change so fast and for the
Yeah.
worse. And there's nothing you can do as a coach other than try to get them to calm down. But
You
usually,
can't.
yeah,
You can't. It's a therapist that needs to do that. You know, and it's something I've learned and developed over time just from dealing with, depression, OCD, anxiety for my entire life, right? Addiction, everything. And now I'm just becoming more grateful for everything, right?
yep,
And that's changing. A lot of people ask me, man, aren't you really concerned about traveling to the Olympia 4 weeks out? And I'm like, no, I'm incredibly grateful that my good friend Chase is giving me the opportunity to go to the Olympia,
yeah,
and we're going to
it's all
hang out with
perspective.
friends and I'm going to bring my food. Everything went fine.
Yeah. And even if it doesn't, you'll be okay. I literally was leaving to go to a
Yeah.
show in Arizona to see a client. He was classic physique. He talked me into doing the show with him because he's like,
Oh,
well,
yeah. You told me
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we get to the airport. I left all my food. We stuck in traffic. We parked in the long-term parking where the shuttle comes and picks you up. Uh, Literally as we're parking, the shuttle is coming by. So I park. I tell my wife like, hey, just go stop the shuttle. I'll grab all our stuff. Well, in doing so, I left all my food, all of it.
Yeah.
So we get there and we're getting ready to go through security. I got my bag on and my wife's got her stuff. We're only there for 2 days. And this is Friday. I compete Saturday. It's like 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, somewhere in there. So midday, I still have like 3 or 4 more meals that I need to eat.
Yeah.
We get there and I'm looking around. I'm like, man, I got this bag. And I'm like, I feel like I should have something else. And then
Yeah.
ding, I'm like, hey, dumbass, I don't have my food bag. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, my wife goes, what? I said, I left all my food in the car. She was freaking out more than me. She's like, are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, look, we'll be all right. We found some little Thai restaurant inside the airport. I got grilled chicken. I got
Yeah.
rice. I had to fight with the lady about what non-sugar sriracha. I'm like, hey, do you have a
Yeah.
packet of sriracha? She gives me like sweet chili sauce. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't eat this. I need sriracha. And she gives me a packet of something else that was high sugar. I'm like, never mind.
Yeah.
We got to the hotel. I ordered enough food for two, which sucked because it was like $40 and it was maybe enough for like my wife and I. Like I opened it up and it was so sad looking, but I was like,
Yeah.
this is what we got.
It's what it
Uh,
is.
yeah, I took first place, arguably should have won the show. It's like it's really not going to be that big of a deal.
No,
You'll
and
be okay.
I caught myself once in Vegas where I had a high carb day. AJ gave me a high carb day one of the days we were there. And we watched I think we watched prejudging or something. And Chase is like, okay, or we finished at the booth and he's like, do you want to do dinner now or after the show? And I'm like, man, I'm like, okay, let's just do it now. So then, we went to the sushi spot with our friends and I'm waiting for the sushi to come. And it's like, it was almost an hour. And like, I was already like due for that meal.
Mhm.
So like, I felt myself like getting heightened and like getting quiet and not talking to people. And like I had one meal with me, so I started eating that meal at the table. And after like, 10, 15 minutes of it was longer than that probably, where I was in that heightened state. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
Hmm.
just stop. You're gonna be fine.
Yep.
Like, this is not the reason you win or lose the show.
Yeah.
And that's coming from someone who is very OCD and I don't miss meals and everything is weighed to the exact gram. So I don't want people to take it like that, but the
Yeah, by no means are we saying, hey, just slack off, you'll be okay. We're saying there will be
no.
instances where something is not going to happen the way you expected it to happen, and you need to learn to roll with it because rolling with it is going to be a much better option than freaking out. You can fix rolling with it. You can,
Yep,
like, had I got to the airport and I just shut down because I didn't have my food, I guarantee you the changes within my body were going to be far worse.
terrible.
What happened with me eating at the Thai food restaurant, getting
Yep.
steamed chicken and rice. Like, cool, I'll make this work. Yes, I paid a little bit more money, but if I sit there and, oh, I can't eat that, or it's got oils, or what if they did this? I'm gonna show up worse.
Yeah,
So
100%. Yeah, so those are the two big ones, right? My
love it.
coaches, grateful for my coaches. Um, just mental shift of, focusing more on gratitude as opposed to um bodybuilding is not a chore for
No,
me. I love it.
no.
People are, oh, you're so disciplined. And it's like, it's not discipline when you love to do it.
Yeah, and it's realistically, it's like it's something that just happens in the background while you do life.
Dude, it's our good friend Ken taught us that, right? He always said, Skip always says that discipline, I love doing this. It's not discipline. The
Yeah,
discipline to me is a single mom raising three kids, working two full-time jobs. She has to work both two full-time jobs or she can't feed her children. That's discipline. She doesn't love doing that.
yeah. She
But
doesn't want to do that, but she,
she just keeps showing up because her kids are that important, right? Um, I get to bodybuild. I love bodybuilding, right?
yeah,
It's not hard for me to do it. I find ways to make it fit my life.
yep,
And it's not hard to do. It's easier not to do it probably, but I wouldn't feel fulfilled without it, right? So those are two big ones. And then we talked about pharmacology and the peptides are helping me.
yeah. And we don't
They're,
have to dive fully into that. I actually think what we should do is save that for another episode where we'll talk
yeah,
about maybe our top five based on what part of, seasonality we're in. Um, but
yeah, yeah. And so I've even have had people ask me because this is going to be by far my best look ever.
yeah, like I messaged you and I said I think you've already beat your last on stage look in your three
Yeah,
week thing.
I have. And so, then people throw around the famous, well, what's the game changer? There isn't one. I'm just more grateful. I have good people in my corner. I have my friends in my corner. I have my wife in my corner. And I'm just loving what I'm doing every day. Like, and it's also the maturation process of now doing this for multiple, multiple years. And you just get better at stuff when you do it for long enough, right? So,
Yeah. Sorry, my wife's trying to be sneaky and
yeah.
she's good. I'm just smiling because she's like trying to be quiet, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
you'll be fine.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah, so yeah, no game changers. It's just showing up year after year and that's it.
Here's the funny thing about everything you just said is that nine times out of 10, people want a magic bullet.
Yeah, it's not there.
It's not. It's literally like in every prep scenario or just in bodybuilding in general, when it comes down to improving, it is literally the three things you just said.
Yeah.
It is learning how to mitigate your stress. As a first-time competitor, we think everything has to be perfect. So our stress is generally more heightened in general, or not generally more heightened. It's usually more heightened just, overall. The second thing is following the coach's plan to a T, which I know you are somebody that's done that in the past, but it's more so just consistency in what you've been doing, having somebody that better understands or arguably just is found a layout or program that works well for your body, which is, push a little bit, pull a little bit, then continue to push. And it's just all of these pieces that fall into place one after the other that is bound by consistent habits
Yeah.
that allow us to become better. That's really
Yep.
all it is. It's never any one thing. Um,
No, no. Yeah, and it's not. It's just it's always the same stuff. And the same stuff is just showing up, doing the work, enjoying it, being grateful for it, having good people in your corner, regardless of who those coaches are. Man,
yeah,
I love my coaches. I think they're the best in the world. Um, Everyone should feel that way about their coach,
yep,
right? People feel that way about us.
yeah,
And they should because we care about their results. AJ cares about my results. Danny cares about my results and keeping me healthy. All that stuff, you know. And so, again, there's no game changer.
yeah,
Yes, the Reddit True Tide helps me, and the Motzi helps me, and the Slew helps me, and we'll go into all that in a different episode where I'll break down, different stuff like that. But um, it's not about that, dude. I'm just enjoying every day,
yep. And
and
that is, if there was any one silver bullet, it's stop looking at it like it's work and start enjoying it for what it is.
it's not work, dude. It's
Yeah,
not, and my body's just showing that now. It's like it's a reflection of how I feel internally.
yep.
It's now showing on my body. Like the shape is better. Um, the body just looks more fresh just because I feel that way,
Yep.
mentally. So I think it's a huge thing.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, 3 weeks out, we'll keep tracking and I'll be excited to see you hit that stage. One more topic that I'd like to squeeze in before we go, and I know this is something that could get long-winded, um, but we'll try and condense it, and then if we need to, we'll pick it back up on the next episode. Because I got to grab a meal here in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes
Yeah, I do. I
myself.
do too. Yeah.
Okay, I figured we're usually pretty close.
Yeah. Our
Okay,
cycles are aligned normally.
right? Yeah, it's yeah, it's like the male version of having a
Yeah.
set of kids. It's like you eat at 12, I eat at 12. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
um,
Yeah.
all right, so we talked a little bit about this before we started recording. I got a couple of clients actually right now that are just in an amazing window of growth. And it's something that I have seen happen before where people will just be in this grow phase and then shut it down to start prep. Um, when is a good time? Because we've kind of talked about this before, but I'm going to flip a new light on it. When would you shut down somebody's bulk or push phase, insert whatever you want to call it here? When would you shut that down to start prep? Not when they're gaining too much fat, but on the flip side, if things are going well, when do you put that on pause, or what would you do?
I
And
don't ever
I already
s-
know the answer, but I just want to hear you explain it.
I don't ever stop that.
Good.
I don't ever stop that because there's only so many times in our lives where everything aligns and you just grow
Yeah.
and grow and you have to let that body grow.
And
You
for context, my client right now, his biggest weight he ever was when he was working with his last coach was, and he was a great coach, but I think they were just pushing a little too much food too fast. And it's funny because prior to him coming to me, he said, I don't do well with high fats, and I usually do better off just pushing protein. I said, okay, we'll find out. His resting,
yeah. What
his
okay, whatever.
his resting blood glucose is 86, sometime between 79 and 80, 86 usually. We just pushed a high carb, I can't even call it day. We gave him almost 500 grams of carbs in 2 meals. And 2 hours postprandial, his blood glucose was like 107. So he is just ripping. absolutely ripping through food.
Yeah.
And one of his questions was, when do you think we would start prep? I said, when you stop growing. We have him now at almost he's at like 197, still visible. I mean, he's arguably 8 weeks out, like is his look at 197 pounds.
Yeah. No.
We
No, no, no,
started,
no.
yeah, we started at the 157, 160-ish range. So we're up almost 30 something pounds. And he's arguably 8 weeks out.
Yeah, so I have a lot of thoughts on this, but my main big thought is don't ever stop that phase to start a prep.
Yep.
You just you don't do it. Um, Here's one way you can do it is so if someone comes to me and they want to do their first show, they're like, okay, when should I do it? I was thinking March. Should we start dieting now? It's like, well, let's just start dieting for the show. And then when you look 12 weeks out, we'll pick a show that's 14 weeks out.
Hmm.
Money. There's no stress on either of us.
Yep.
We don't have to do anything risky, no Hail Marys. We just start dieting, see what the body does. And the body's going to tell us when our show is. So we start dieting along, and then, oh wow, you're getting in shape quick. Let's find a show. Okay, cool. Right? That can be a first show thing. Um, and then the same thing when you're growing. If you're growing, why? Why? Why do you want to do a show? Like if the body's just like and you're still enjoying training and you're eating the food fine, it's not hard to get down, you're sleeping good, life is good, your bills are paid. It's like, no, ride that out.
Yeah.
Ride that out. Imagine, I don't know, you just if the car is running good, you don't slam on the brakes, right? You you keep your foot in the gas. And
I have seen firsthand people shut down good growth phases to
so
go
have I.
into preps, and then they will go back into a bulk after the shows are said and done, and the amount of growth is not nearly close to what it was when they were in. Every once in a while you will hit that golden spot where everything is just absolutely firing, and like Tommy said, do not trade that for anything. The stage can wait, because I promise you, you adding another 3, 4, potentially 5 or more pounds of muscle by staying in that is going to be far better than the 2 to 3 or however many you gained prior, and not ever experiencing a phase like that again.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. And like I have a gross analogy, but imagine you're doing something that your partner likes and okay, just keep doing that, right? Because it's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh, I'm going to try something new." Like, why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, um, I don't know if you're cooking a meal and the meal's tasting good, oh, I'm going to try this new seasoning. It's like, man, like maybe wait until that meal sucks before you try to change it because it's here's a good one. You'll love this because this is going to relate to you really well. Skip loading. We have our go-to skip load meals. We have our go-to skip load restaurants, everything like that. The super saturation days, that's what AJ does. I
Mhm.
have my go-to meals. And man, it would be so silly of either one of us, hey, it's so and so's birthday. They're going here. I can make that my skip load meal. You get there, the food sucks, gives you a stomach ache. You feel like garbage the next few days, and you're like, man, I should have just stuck to my normal load meal, right? The one that I love every single week. I nail it. I feel great, and it's like the same thing. Like, you're growing, don't try something new. Just like let that body just keep going and going and going. Like the everything's greased, the train is rolling. Like don't stand in front of it, you know?
I love it. That Couldn't be more true. I think that's a good spot to end for now. We got a couple of good things coming up. For the listeners out there, if you guys have questions, make sure to let us know below. We'd love to get some feedback, whether it's lifestyle, family, bodybuilding. Let us know. We love to cover the questions across the board. Tommy, let the people know how they can find you.
Yep. tommyjohncoaching.com, Tommy John Coaching on Instagram, the chaseironsforum.com. We got our forum over there. And then any type of supplements or peptides, all those links are in my Instagram profile. If you guys are looking for any type of supplements or peptides, those are all in my profile that I'm associated with in my Instagram. So, how about you, Devin?
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys can find me at nxtlevel-training.com, or you can email me, Devin at nxtlevel-training.com. For supplements, feel free to check out www.getgforce.net. Team 20 will get you 20% off for everybody that watches the show. Outside of that, I think that does it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave us some comments. We need some help in the algorithm. The
Yep.
easiest thing you could do to support us is share it with a friend and make sure you hit that like button.
Yep. Perfect.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you get to your meal. I'm gonna go grab mine. Enjoy the rest
Yep.
of your Sunday, and we got some good topics on the horizon, so we'll be reconnecting real soon.
Awesome. Sounds good to me. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I'll catch you later.
See you, man.
All right.